By any chance, is this you? I'm finally done with all the promotions. Now, no content creation until the next comeback. Or, I'm done with all the promotions, but if I don't post anything, will I ghost my audience? Or I won't have any audience until the next comeback. But I don't know what to post then. So you dropped a song, you promoted for 2 to 3 weeks, and then you vanish like the industry personally offended you, and then you're like, why is nobody waiting for my comeback? So today we are fixing that. In this part, we'll be talking about what to post when you have nothing to promote or no comebacks. Now let's quickly talk about why disappearing between releases is low-key sabotaging you. Artists treat social media as a seasonal job. Songs drop, I'm active. Promo ends, I've logged off. As if the algorithm clocks out with you. And here's the reality. Momentum is not built during the release week. It's built in the in-between. So when you disappear, the algorithm stops caring. It rewards consistency, not emotional distance. You ghost it ghosts you back. That's not personal, that's just programming. Your audience moves on. Not because they hate you, but because attention shifts fast. If you're not in their world consistently, then something else will be. Every comeback feels like starting over. You're not building anticipation, you're rebuilding awareness. And that's exhausting. Mystery works if you're huge. Silence works if people are obsessed. But if you're still building, silence is not a strategy, it's just invisibility. So if you're not promoting, you should be building. And that's where most artists get confused on what exactly to post. So let's fix that. Alright, if you're confused about what to post when you don't have anything to promote, just rotate between the 6 types of content. That's it. 6 pillars on repeat. Forever, let's go. World building content. Your taste, your mind, your universe. This is where you show people how you think. Not what you ate, not your skincare routine, but your taste. Because taste builds tribe. So if I know what artists you admire, what albums shaped you, what kind of stories you love, what inspires your sound, I start understanding your world. And fans don't just follow music, they follow worlds. Let's clear this up with some examples. Like 3 artists that shaped my sound and why. Songs I wish I wrote. Why I think this album is genius. The movie that influenced my next era. Mood boards for future concepts. If my project had a color palette, it would be this. And don't just say, I like this artist, I like this music, I like this movie. Explain why. Is it their passion, their storytelling, their branding, or their production style? Explain why. When you explain your taste, you position yourself as the artist with depth and not just someone who posts songs. This also attracts the right audience. If you love dark cinematic pop and you talk about it, guess who you attract? The people who love dark cinematic pop. That's alignment. Second, process and the behind the scene content. Because let them into the creative room. Because people support what they see being built. If we just see the final song, we clap once. But if we see how it was built, we feel involved. Here are some examples. Studio sessions, lyrics writing snippets like this line took me 3 hours, showing different versions of the same chorus, voice memo ideas, production breakdowns, even scrapped songs. And here's a powerful idea. This song will never release, but listen to this part. This makes fans feel like insiders, like they know what's going on. And also show failures. Maybe you thought this was genius, but it's not. This way you're not promoting, you're inviting them. Third, education or value-based content. If you can teach, teach. And now this is optional, but if you can do it, it builds authority really fast. If you have learned anything about these, talk about it. For example, 3 songwriting mistakes I used to make. Why most independent artists struggle with growth. How I structure my recording sessions. What I learned after my first bad release. This doesn't make you an influencer, it makes you respected. And here's the thing. When you teach, you position yourself as someone serious, not just talented, but strategic. And that is really great for long-term credibility. Fourth, live streaming or real-time content. The intimacy accelerator. Some artists blow up completely and purely because of this. Streaming builds connection fast because it's real-time. No heavy editing, no overthinking, just presence. You can go live while writing a song, produce a beat on stream, do Q&A sessions, react to fan covers, break down your old songs, or even just talk about creativity. And then people don't just watch, they feel involved. And here's something very important. You don't need 10,000 viewers. If 30 people show up consistently, that's 30 people building real emotional connection in real time. Streaming turns passive followers to active listeners, active supporters. It's very powerful. Fifth, storytelling content, the emotional glue. This is so underrated because artists forget they have stories. Stories create memories, and memories create loyalty. For example, the worst performance of my life, the moment I almost quit music. The first time someone recognized me, the song that changed everything for me, why I started making music. Don't trauma jump, control the narrative, but share your experiences. And because when people know your story, they root for you. And when they root for you, they stay. Sixth, interactive or community-driven content. Turn followers into participants. This is where you stop broadcasting and start involving. For example, help me name this demo, finish this lyrics, let fans vote on the cover arts. Which vibe should I explore next? Do it this, stitch this, react to fan content, create challenges around your sound. A brilliant idea, do double role videos where one version of you says something and the other says the other. That's creative narrative content. It's entertaining, it's self-aware, it builds personality. You can even turn your internal artist struggles into skits. For example, version 1, post consistently. Version 2, disappears for 4 months. That's relatable and strategic. Interactive content builds belonging, and belonging builds fandom. And notice something. None of this requires a release, a comeback, a promo budget, a crisis. This is the identity building content. This is the relationship building content. This is how you stop starting over every single time you release music. Rotate these 6 pillars and you'll never run out of ideas. Ever. Now I know exactly what you're thinking. This sounds like a lot. I just wanted to make music. Why do I feel like I applied to a marketing degree? Relax. If content feels like a chore, you're doing it wrong. Because it's not admin work, it's just creative extension. And if this feels like paperwork, we need to change how you're executing it. So let me show you how to make this fun. First, turn everything into a bit. Stop treating content like an announcement. Start treating it like a concept. For example, instead of here's some songwriting tip, do this. Play 2 versions of yourself. I don't need to rewrite this verse. Yes, you do. It's bad. It's raw. It's lazy. Now suddenly your education content becomes a skit. You're still giving value, but with entertainment. Same tip, better execution. Second, romanticize the process. You're an artist, so act like one. Add dramatic music for a tiny problem. Overreact. Zoom in aggressively. For example, you can't find the right lyric. Cue cinematic music. Black and white filter. Text on the screen, day 47 and the bridge still hates me. Now it's funny, it's aesthetic, it's not content, it's storytelling. Third, make the audience the co-writer. Instead of sitting alone and deciding what to post, bring them into the chaos. Go live and say, I have 2 chorus ideas. One is emotionally devastating, one is toxic. Choose. Or I hate both of these lines. Help. When you involve them, it stops feeling like performing. It starts feeling like a collaboration. And collaborations are fun. Fourth, gamify it. You don't need to post consistently, you need to play with it. Set creative challenges, like I'm writing a song using only words you comment. I'll turn the top comment into a lyric. Give me a random scenario and I'll write a hook in 60 seconds. Now content becomes a game, and games are addictive for you and for them. Fifth, batch create like a maniac so it doesn't drain you. Let's be honest, the real reason it feels like a chore is because you're trying to think, film, edit, post, be creative, all in the same hour. That's exhausting. Instead, have one chaotic creation day. Film 5 to 6 pieces in the same outfit, same background, same energy flow, and then you don't touch it again for a week. This way you're not constantly in content mode, you're in artist mode, but strategically. Sixth, stop over polishing. This one is important. Not everything needs perfect lighting, perfect mix, perfect music. Raw builds connection. If you treat every post as a music video, you'll burn out. Some content should feel like, I thought of this and turn on the camera. Because that energy feels alive, and alive is greater than perfect. Think this way, content is not separate from your art. It's the documentary of your art. If you start thinking, I have to make content, it feels heavy. But if you start thinking, I get to document my art, it feels creative. You're not an influencer now, you're the main character of an unfolding story. and people are watching in real time. So stop making it corporate. Make it cinematic, make it playful, make it chaotic, but most importantly, make it yours. So let me leave you with this. If you're only posting when you're releasing something, you're training your audience to only care about you when you're selling. And that's not fandom, that's transaction. The artists who make it the loudest are not the ones who shout the most in the promo weeks, it's the ones who stay present in between the eras. It's your personal manager speaking. Don't disappear and call it mystery. Build and call it strategy. Now, your 24 hours homework, no overthinking, no perfection, just action. Task 1. Post one piece of world building content. Talk about an artist you love. And why? Not who, not what, why. Task 2. Show some real part of your process. A lyric demo, a voice demo, something real. Task 3. Optional but powerful. Ask your audience one thing about your music. Make them participate in your world. That's it. Start there. So, see you in the next one.